Top HFY stories: Military excellence. In a distant future, humanity had risen from the ashes of a fractured world. After centuries of war and chaos, Earth had finally united under one banner, the United Earth Federation, UEF. The galaxy was now their stage, and humanity's military forces were respected and feared by all. But it wasn't just their advanced technology or vast fleet of ships that made them formidable. It was their unwavering commitment to victory, no matter the odds. This is the story of one such moment when human military excellence was put to the ultimate test. The year was 2387, and the UEF was facing its greatest challenge yet. A coalition of alien species, the Zorkal Dominion, had launched a surprise invasion on the outer rim of human space. The Dominion was a ruthless, technologically advanced empire, led by a cunning warlord named Korat. With their superior numbers and weaponry, they quickly seized several human colonies, pushing the UEF to the brink of collapse. Admiral Rebecca Sharp was a battle-hardened veteran, known for her unyielding spirit and brilliant strategies. She had served in the UEF military for over 30 years and had never been defeated in battle. She was tasked with leading the defense of humanity's last line of defense, the planet Arcturus. This world, rich in resources and strategically vital, was humanity's most important asset in the war with the Dominion. As the first Zorkal battle cruisers appeared on the horizon, Sharp stood on the bridge of her flagship, the USS Vanguard. The massive ship loomed over the planet, its sleek, black hull a testament to human engineering. Thousands of years of warfare had taught humans to think fast, adapt, and outmaneuver their enemies, but the Dominion was no ordinary foe. "We need a plan, Admiral," said her second-in-command, Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Doyle, as he stood at her side. Sharp surveyed the incoming fleet. The Zorkal's ships were enormous, their weapons capable of vaporizing entire cities in seconds. But humanity had one thing the Dominion didn't: the ability to innovate under pressure. "Prepare the fleet," she said firmly. "We're going to hit them where it hurts the most. We'll use their own arrogance against them." Sharp's plan was daring and unconventional. She ordered her fleet to split into smaller, highly mobile groups, each outfitted with advanced stealth technology. These groups would harry the Dominion's flanks and draw their fire while simultaneously exploiting weaknesses in the enemy's formations. As the battle began, the UEF fleet struck hard and fast. Ships darted in and out of the Zorkal fleet's range, launching high-velocity torpedoes and plasma bursts. The Dominion, expecting a full frontal assault, was caught off guard by the UEF's hit-and-run tactics. While the alien ships tried to regroup, the humans pressed their advantage. The battle raged for hours, the skies above Arcturus burning with explosions. The UEF fleet was taking losses, but they fought with a tenacity that the Dominion had never encountered. Sharp's tactics were proving effective, but the Dominion still had one ace up their sleeve, a superweapon capable of wiping out entire fleets in one shot. As the Zorkal flagship, the Eclipse, loomed into view, Sharp knew the battle was far from over. She had to neutralize the superweapon before it could be deployed. Without hesitation, she ordered a bold strike. The USS Vanguard would be the decoy, drawing the Eclipse's fire while a small, elite squadron of human pilots infiltrated the flagship's defenses. The humans launched their attack, sacrificing their own ships as a distraction. It was a brutal and desperate move, but it was the only option. One by one, human pilots braved the deadly turrets of the Eclipse, their ships expertly weaving through enemy fire, until they finally reached the superweapon's core. Led by Captain Clara Williams, the squadron initiated a daring boarding operation. The soldiers, equipped with advanced exosuits, breached the Eclipse's hull and fought their way to the heart of the superweapon. The Zorkal, unprepared for such a bold assault, were overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity and precision of the humans. Captain Williams planted explosives in the heart of the superweapon, setting the stage for a final showdown. With moments to spare, the squadron detonated the charges, crippling the Eclipse and rendering its weapon useless. Back on the USS Vanguard, Admiral Sharp watched as the Eclipse erupted in a series of violent explosions. The Zorkal fleet, now leaderless and demoralized, began to retreat. "We did it," Marcus said, a relieved smile crossing his face. Sharp nodded, her face grim. "This is just the beginning, but today, humanity showed the galaxy what we're made of." With the fall of the Eclipse and the retreat of the Dominion forces, the battle for Arcturus was won. The Zorkal had underestimated the resilience and ingenuity of humanity, and they would never make that mistake again. In the years that followed, humanity would continue to face challenges from alien civilizations, but each time, they proved that their military excellence, their adaptability, and their indomitable will to win would carry them through, for in the vastness of space, there was no force greater than the determination of the human spirit. And that, above all else, was what made humanity's military unmatched in the stars. Top HFY stories. Military excellence continued. The victory at Arcturus had been hard won, but it was only the first of many trials to come. The Zorkal Dominion, humiliated and shaken, retreated from human space, but they weren't the only threat lurking in the galaxy. Over the years, humanity's reputation for military excellence spread far and wide, and many alien races took note of the UAF's growing power. Some were intrigued, others were jealous, and a few sought to challenge humanity directly. However, every challenge they faced only solidified the humans' resolve to defend their home and their ideals. They were no longer just a scattered race of survivors, they were united, forged in the crucible of war, and their military was the beating heart of their strength. One such challenge came from the Kalthari, an ancient species with a brutal history of conquest. The Kalthari were known for their ruthless tactics and overwhelming firepower. They were an old civilization with technology that rivaled and, in some cases, exceeded that of humanity's, but their arrogance often led to their downfall. The Kalthari had invaded countless worlds, and now they had set their sights on Earth. The Kalthari fleet, led by Admiral Orok, a warlord with a bloodlust that matched his intellect, entered human space with little warning. The UAF scrambled to respond, knowing that Earth itself was in jeopardy. However, Earth's defenders were not the same as they had been in the past. Admiral Sharp had since become the commander of the UAF's entire military arm, having earned the rank through sheer merit. Her name was now synonymous with victory, and humanity's enemies feared her reputation almost as much as they feared the weapons of the UAF. She had faced the Dominion, and now, she would face the Kalthari. As the Kalthari fleet approached Earth's orbit, Admiral Sharp stood on the bridge of her flagship, the USS Guardian. The battle for Earth had begun, and the stakes were higher than ever. Her strategy was already in motion. She knew the Kalthari would underestimate humanity's ability to adapt and outthink their foes, just as the Zorkal had done. Deploy the defense grid, Sharp ordered. The UAF had developed a state-of-the-art planetary defense system, capable of launching high-powered energy beams from Earth's surface to target incoming enemy ships. However, the Kalthari were no fools, they'd have to be caught off guard. Sharp's plan was bold. While the defense grid laid down a barrage to distract the Kalthari, her elite strike force, comprised of the most experienced UAF soldiers and pilots, would infiltrate and disable the Kalthari flagship before it could even get close to Earth. As the battle raged in space above Earth, human soldiers on the ground prepared for an invasion. Earth's cities, though technologically advanced, were not designed for a full-scale war. The Kalthari, with their superior numbers, would have the advantage in a direct assault. However, the UAF knew how to turn the tables. Humanity had long perfected the art of urban warfare, using the very terrain against invaders. Sharp had ordered the construction of fortified zones deep within Earth's cities, with complex networks of underground tunnels, hidden strongholds, and sniper nests. Every soldier, from seasoned veterans to new recruits, knew how to turn their environment into a weapon. The Kalthari landed their shock troops, expecting an easy victory. What they found, however, was a ruthless resistance unlike any they had faced before. From the moment their boots hit the ground, they were met with guerrilla tactics, ambushes, and expertly laid traps. Human soldiers, using their intimate knowledge of Earth's terrain, forced the Kalthari into drawn-out skirmishes. Meanwhile, the space battle reached its critical point. The Kalthari flagship, the Dreadstorm, began its approach toward Earth, its massive hull bristling with weapons capable of reducing entire continents to rubble. Sharp's elite strike team, led by Captain Williams, launched their assault on the Kalthari ship. The team, equipped with advanced stealth suits and gravity-defying boots, boarded the Dreadstorm undetected, making their way to the ship's central core. Captain Williams, a legend in her own right, led the charge. Move quickly and quietly, she ordered her team. We're the tip of the spear. If we fail, Earth is lost. Infiltrating the Dreadstorm was no easy feat. The Kalthari were an ancient and battle-hardened race, and their ship was fortified with traps and automated defenses, but the humans were relentless. They fought their way through corridors, disabling security systems and eliminating guards with silent precision. As they neared the core of the ship, the true challenge began. The Kalthari had a failsafe, a massive shockwave generator capable of sending a pulse strong enough to disable all enemy ships within a radius of several light-years. It was humanity's worst nightmare, but Captain Williams and her team were determined to prevent it. In a final, desperate gambit, they reached the core, only to find that the Kalthari had anticipated their move. A countdown had already begun. With seconds to spare, Williams made a split-second decision. She would manually override the pulse generator, knowing full well it would take her life to stop it. "Captain, no," one of her soldiers shouted, but Williams didn't hesitate. With one final command, she activated the override, collapsing the generator just as the shockwave began to build. The Kalthari flagship went silent as its weapons powered down. Back on Earth, the invading Kalthari forces were thrown into chaos. With the flagship neutralized, the UAF's fleet launched a counterattack, destroying the Kalthari ships one by one. The invasion of Earth was stopped, but not without sacrifice. The war with the Kalthari was over, Earth was saved, but the loss of Captain Williams weighed heavily on Admiral Sharp and the UAF. However, they knew that humanity's resilience and determination had once again proven its place in the stars. The story of that battle would become legend, a tale of sacrifice, innovation, and military excellence. It was a reminder to all that, no matter the challenge, humanity would always rise to the occasion. The galaxy had learned, once again, that humanity's military was not just a force to be reckoned with, it was the finest in the universe. And as long as there were stars to defend, humanity would stand ready. Top HFY stories, military excellence, continued. The victory at Arcturus had been hard won, but the aftermath of that battle sent ripples across the galaxy. The Zorkal Dominion, once a dominant force in the outer reaches of space, had retreated into their home systems, but their defeat had only emboldened other species to challenge humanity. The UAF knew that this war was far from over. The universe, vast and full of unknowns, would not stand idly by while humanity claimed a place among the stars. It was during this uneasy period of peace that the Gruthzil, a race of massive, crystalline beings from the void beyond the Milky Way, made their move. Unlike the Zorkal, the Gruthzil had no interest in territorial expansion. Their desire was far more sinister, total annihilation. They viewed organic life as inferior, believing it was an abomination against the pure beauty of the cosmos. They had no allies, only an unyielding drive to eradicate what they considered imperfections. The Gruthzil fleet, enormous and shimmering like vast, floating shards of obsidian, appeared in human space with terrifying speed. Their ships were unlike anything humanity had encountered, entirely self-replicating, capable of adapting to any attack or defense strategy. The Gruthzil had the ability to harness the energy of stars, using it to power their weapons and shields, making them nearly invincible. Their leader, known only as the Shard, had a mind like none other, calculating, cold, and relentless. Admiral Sharp, now regarded as the most respected military strategist in the UAF, was tasked with repelling the Gruthzil threat. She knew that brute force alone wouldn't be enough. Humanity would have to adapt in ways that no enemy had ever anticipated. It wasn't long before the Gruthzil made their intentions clear. A massive fleet, led by the Shard, entered the Sol system. Their ships seemed to bend light itself, appearing and disappearing as they navigated the stars. The UAF was ready, but even the most advanced human ships were no match for the Gruthzil's overwhelming power. "Admiral, we need a plan, and fast," said Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Doyle, standing at Sharp's side as they surveyed the growing threat. The USS Vanguard was stationed near the outer rim of the solar system, where humanity's most powerful ships were positioned for defense. Sharp, deep in thought, studied the data from the Gruthzil's previous engagements. They were methodical, calm, and frighteningly efficient, but they lacked flexibility. Their rigid mindset would be their downfall, if she could exploit it. "We'll use their arrogance against them," Sharp replied. "They think they are the apex of the universe. We'll show them they are wrong." The plan was daring, to lure the Gruthzil into a trap so precise that it would exploit their overconfidence. Sharp's fleet would create a series of decoys, feigning weakness while allowing the Gruthzil to close in on what they believed was a vulnerable target. But the true objective was hidden, a final strike force that would infiltrate the Gruthzil flagship and neutralize their power source. As the Gruthzil fleet approached, the UAF put the plan into motion. The outer defenses of Earth were activated, creating a false sense of security for the invaders. Meanwhile, Sharp's elite strike team, led by Captain Clara Williams, the same commander who had proven herself during the Kalthari conflict, prepared to infiltrate the heart of the Gruthzil fleet. The strike force, equipped with new cloaking technology and enhanced armor, was deployed directly into the heart of enemy territory. Their mission, to board the Gruthzil flagship, the Vengeance, and disable the central energy core that powered the entire fleet. The journey was perilous. The Gruthzil ship's defenses were unlike anything humanity had encountered before. Unseen forces of energy rippled through space, twisting and warping the very fabric of reality, but the human soldiers pushed forward, relying on their training, determination, and the unity of their cause. No enemy, no matter how advanced, would break the spirit of humanity. Captain Williams and her team infiltrated the Vengeance, cutting through the crystalline corridors and fighting off the Gruthzil's automated defenses. The Gruthzil were no slouches in combat, but they lacked the human capacity for creativity and innovation in battle. Where they saw a rigid problem, the humans saw 1,000 possible solutions. Williams and her team used every piece of technology, every ounce of strategy, to break through. "Stay sharp, we're almost there," Williams said, her voice steady despite the overwhelming odds. The team moved quickly, planting charges along the ship's inner structure, bypassing energy shields and striking deep into the heart of the ship. But even as they reached the core, they were met with a chilling revelation. The shard itself was waiting. A crystalline entity, towering and imposing, stood guard over the core, its eyes, glowing with an unnatural light, fixed on the human soldiers. "You think you can stop perfection?" The shard's voice echoed in their minds. "You are nothing. The universe will be purged of your imperfections." Without hesitation, Williams drew her weapon. "We'll see about that," she muttered, signaling her team to plant the final charge. The battle that followed was intense, a brutal clash of advanced technology against the will of human determination. The Gruthzil's powers were terrifying, but the humans' will to protect their future proved even stronger. Captain Williams fought through wave after wave of crystalline warriors, each more deadly than the last, until she finally reached the core. With one final push, she activated the detonator. The explosion rocked the entire Gruthzil fleet, destabilizing the ship's energy core. The shard, screaming in frustration, attempted to regenerate, but it was too late. The shockwave from the explosion spread outward, disrupting the Gruthzil ships and tearing them apart. Back on Earth, the victory was hard-won, but humanity had once again proven their military excellence. The Gruthzil fleet was decimated, and the shard, the greatest threat humanity had ever faced, was destroyed. The cost was high, many lives were lost in the battle, but humanity's resolve was unbroken. Admiral Sharp stood on the bridge of the USS Vanguard, looking out at the remnants of the Gruthzil fleet. "We've done it," Marcus said, his voice filled with awe. Sharp nodded, but her expression was somber. "We've won, but the galaxy is vast. There will always be another challenge, another enemy that underestimates humanity, but as long as we stand together, there's no force in the universe that can defeat us." The story of the Gruthzil invasion would go down in history as another testament to humanity's military excellence, a reminder that no matter how powerful or ancient the enemy, humanity would always rise to the challenge, and the galaxy would never forget that when the stakes were highest, humanity fought with everything it had. For as long as there were stars, humanity would fight to protect their future, their people, and the legacy they had built together.